and welcome Miss Amanda Lopez Askins. Actually, I should say doctor, right?
Sure, you can call me
I
Amanda.
can call you-
You can call me doctor. You can call me
You know what?
Cleark.
We've known each other for a few years, so I'm just going to call you Amanda.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Of course, Amanda is the Diana County clerk.
I am.
And what is going on with you these days?
Well, we're always preparing for the next election. And in preparing for the next election, I am here to do some election official recruitment, right? So they're formerly known as poll workers. That title changed to election officials.
I should hope so.
Yes. And so some didn't love the poll workers, but that seems more familiar to many people. So I always do just kind of, reflect that election officials are poll workers. But basically, they are the individuals in our community that prop up our democracy, that help us run elections. We literally would not be able to run elections and administer elections if we did not have the support of individuals in our community who are willing to step up to serve at each of our polling locations.
Yeah, and these are the people that basically, when you go in to vote, they're going to be taking your information. They're going to give you your ballot, all that other stuff that go along right in there. So I assume that you're recruiting and getting ready because there are going to be some classes that they have to take beforehand.
Right. So we do have to, actually, it's required by law, train individuals. And we're always working on making our training better. But the requirements are really to be a registered voter in Doñana County, to obviously be a citizen, and as well as be willing to take a training and have basic understanding of, electronics, et cetera, transportation, obviously. And there's several different roles that a community member can play. And those are listed on our website, dacelections.com. But basically, we would love to have, a great host of people from our community apply, and we'll get you going. Election day is November 8th. So that is the big day in which we hope to have hundreds and hundreds of people working for us. And then there's early voting. And those folks are temp employees for Doñana County. So they start about a month earlier and have kind of a good span of time that they work for Doñana County. And, at least 5 weeks, I think, is something with including training. So just depending on availability, I would love it if everyone listening would consider serving. You can serve if you are 16 years old. You have to fill some extra paperwork out. You don't obviously have to be registered to vote at 16, but sometimes we like to put a parent and maybe a junior clerk, they're at a location, because it encourages this idea of democracy, voting, and it kind of makes it something familiar, and we know that young person will likely be a voter.
Yeah,
a lifetime voter.
Absolutely. The more that you can get the younger people involved in the voting process, the better. I think overall, absolutely. It's our next generation that will keep our democracy going. So and this is a very important position for a lot of the once again, in my mind I was going to say poll workers, but we're talking your
election officials.
That's
you
okay.
can use them interchangeably.
Yeah, well, I'm old school, but this is a very important position because they're the ones that keep things moving along, and once again make sure that everything's ready so that when you get your ballot and everything is good to go.
Right.
And make sure, and especially because sometimes when it comes down to provisional ballots and other stuff like that, which will happen because it's not a perfect system.
It sounds like you should be working. You sound like you know a lot about the system, but it's true.
I have thought about trying to donate, not donate,
because we do
to
pay.
Volunteer. Yeah,
yes,
you do pay.
We do pay you,
but it is a long day.
It is a long day, but you're used to the long days. You start early, so it is a long day. Election day, November 8th. You have to be at a polling location at 6 a.m. so we can be ready to open at 7 a.m. and we close at 7 p.m. and there's some reconciliation and items that need to be done subsequent to that. So it is a very long day. And frankly, I would love to be able to pay more than we do. It's approximately $200. And so for a day's work, what is done is something that we can't even measure in monetary ideas, because it's so important to our community. So we do offer, of course, pay for that day, but really the purpose and I think the reason people do it is because they want to watch the system, they want to be part of it, and they want to encourage people to participate. And we always like to say that there's nothing better than walking into a polling location and having people be super friendly, super supportive of voters, and they leave feeling like, I'm going to do this again. This felt good, and so we always encourage that from our poll workers to be friendly and welcoming.
Yeah, absolutely. I love when I go down to vote because it's always a great experience and it makes you feel good when you get that done. but a lot of it is due to the people that are there helping out. So once again, what are the requirements to become an election official?
Right. So you need to be registered to vote if you're
Mhm.
18 or older, which would, of course, make you a citizen. You have to be a resident of Doñana County, and you have to be willing to take training and have familiarity with basically technology on some level, not extensive. Have a cell phone, likely, and transportation. Again, there are different roles. There's the presiding judge, which is basically a supervisor on site.
Mhm.
There are the judge roles, which assists the judge. And then there's the clerks, which are those nice people that when you walk in, say, welcome, check in, or thank you for, voting and have a great day. But they're all important roles, and they all make the polling location hum, so to speak. And also, just as an aside, we do look at party affiliation because per statute, we have to be fair in how party breakdown at each site.
Mhm.
So you can't have all Democrats at a site, all Republicans at a site. You have to have a fair mix, and that really increases the accountability at each polling location. The more eyes on the election, the better. And I will say we love decline to states. In New Mexico, we call independence DTS, or decline to state. It's
Mhm.
like I haven't picked a major party, maybe for whatever reason. And we love DTS because we can actually place them at any of our polling locations. I always joke that it's like that type of O blood that is universal. So it's really helped. We love that as well. We're always looking for people to serve in the northern part of the county and the southern part of the county where we have the most challenges
Okay.
in terms of recruitment.
And of course, the election's coming up pretty soon right here. So do we have
It's
a deadline?
always
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. There's always the next election, Amanda. I think you've learned that
that's
one.
kind of really, you can head to our website today, again, dacelections.com. There's a very specific tab that says election officials. Put your information in there. We will contact you, get you ready, get you figured out where you could best serve. If you have a preference, you can let us know. And then at that point, we start the process. You can say if you want to work early voting, if you want to work just election day, and then we go from there. So we are definitely excited to get a lot more applicants. We would like to have a whole host of community members that are ready and willing to serve.
And what I was getting to specifically, is there a deadline? Is there a time that we have to go ahead and get this done before the election?
Yeah, if you want to work early voting and you want to work a longer period of time, you really should probably get your application in before like September 15th.
Mhm.
But literally to election day, probably the week before when we're doing training, we accept applications because election day sometimes, folks don't show up. It's early, and so we do have we love to be able to replace them with people who are waiting to serve.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a very important part of our democracy that goes on right here, and I'm glad that you're in charge because you have a way of bringing in some people that are pretty awesome. So if you are interested in becoming an election worker, absolutely. The website once again is
dacelections.com.
dacelections.com. You can get all the information right there so that you become an election worker for this year's election, which, like I said, is going to be coming up here pretty quick. So I would get in there and go ahead and get your application in. And we're going to get a whole bunch of people, right,
yes,
Amanda?
I believe it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thanks for coming in, Amanda. Thanks for letting us know. And we'll keep reminding everybody that they can go ahead and become an election worker by heading over to the website as we go along and get ready for our next there's going to be a big election coming up. They're all big. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just say this before we get back into everything. You are correct. Every election is a big election and is an important one.
Hi, it's Jenny from your local Big Deal store. If you run a business and are looking for a fun and creative